Betting on the World Cup is about to shatter records set by Super Bowl, by March Madness. Forget about it. The tournament to be betting is the 2026 World Cup, and we're going to get ready to get you to do just that. I'm Dan Alexander, joined by my man. You know him from the cut line. You know him. You love him. Yann is in the house. Yann, we're amped for this tournament, man. Not only because the World Cup is something I always look forward to, right? You know, you get that incredible run from Morocco back in 2022. So the unthinkable can always happen in this tournament. However, this one, I'm shocked. It's in the Americas here in North America. So they had to make it bigger. I don't know if we'll say it's better, but it certainly is bigger, man. The largest World Cup we have ever seen. We're amped for it, brother.
I mean, after doing all of the research on these teams, I have been well and truly bitten by the World Cup fever. I am so excited for this competition. I'm really excited to talk about all these teams with you. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And folks, keep those comments coming. Yann and I, all the way through the World Cup, will be answering them. And comment below and let us know, do you want to do a weekly show or, you know, a bi-weekly show where we break down some of these games? Because we will be giving client plays out here for free. But if you want all of the best bets, you can find them over at Andy Lang's page. Before we start talking, basically what you're going to get on the show, we're going to break down every single group. We're going to give you thoughts on Group A through Group L. Insane that there are that many groups, Yann, but that is how many we will be breaking down. Teams that should be finishing first, teams that probably won't even grab a point in the tournament. We'll let you know about that. We'll let you know a little bit of golden boot thoughts to win the cup. But as we start, Yann, betting the World Cup is I liken it to like the Belmont Stakes or the Kentucky Derby, where folks every year or every 4 years, I guess, when the World Cup comes around, soccer experts just crawl out of the woodwork, just like horse betting experts crawl out of the woodwork when it's derby time. The people who are grinding out soccer, we want to remind you folks, betting on soccer is quite different than betting on many other sports because you have that draw. And in a tournament like this, when you're going to have 3 qualifiers from these groups, the draw may just be the best damn bet you can make on the board. So betting in soccer, you need to double check what you are betting, what type of line you are betting. So as we head on into the World Cup, any cautionary tales, any thoughts, any tips on how people should be betting the World Cup, other than, of course, responsibly, Yann?
I think there's a lot of juicy prices that I would stay well away from. There's a lot of teams that are fancied that I think have 1 or 2 holes. Like you say, the draw is such a big thing, but you can use that to your advantage. You've got double chances. You've got draw no bets. Over-unders markets as well. Don't think all of these big teams are going to go and blow out the little teams. Some of these little teams are very well organized. Unders might be a way to go. I just cannot wait for this. This is so fun.
Yeah, I'm absolutely amped as well. And folks, comment below, let us know your pre-flop bets. Who are you looking to bet? Here's a little cautionary tale. Yann and I are going to talk futures at the end of the show. We're about to break down groups here. But cautionary tale, folks, in the modern era here in soccer, in football, the odds-on favorite has only won 3 times. The odds-on favorite heading into the tournament has only won the tournament 3 times. So you France, Allez le Bleu backers, tread lightly is all I will say there. But let's start getting into this group by group. We're going to start off here in Group A, and this is one that I think, Yann, you and I both have pretty strong opinions. Actually, one of our futures that we have loaded already has moved in our direction, and I'll tell you what it was, folks, because it's starting to get priced out. We like Mexico to win this group. It's Mexico, South Africa, Chechnya or Czech Republic, and then you're looking at the Korea or Korea Republic as well. So in Group A, I hesitate to say Mexico's the true class, but with the home field advantage, the fact that they'll be close to home, sleeping in their own beds, heading into this tournament, and just their style of play, I think sets them up really nicely in Group A here. Not to say that there's any slouches in this group. I mean, South Korea, you could argue they're a little bit of a sleeper team. South Africa, that's who I would probably, if I was forecasting this group, say that's your 4th place finisher here. But they can still make things difficult for you. So Group A, as we start off, Yann, what are we thinking here?
Yeah, I've got a couple of hot takes here. I think Mexico is the standout class. and I have them beating England in the round of 16. I will go that far. I think they're that
You got
good.
them beating England?
I do. I do. I think with that home field advantage, England going to Mexico
Wow.
City on a Monday night, that is a horrible trip for them. We've got a lot of pale English guys that will not like that climate at all. Yeah, Mexico all day for me. And another hot take, I am all out on South Africa. I think they are one of the
Yeah.
weakest teams in the competition. I
Wow.
strongly fancy them to finish bottom. South Korea are my second best team here. I think they're very well balanced. I think they're tactically disciplined. I think they're a team that's better than the sum of their parts, and I think that goes a long way. The Czech Republic, very solid, very organised, but I think they're slightly overrated in prices. But yeah, Mexico tops, South Africa bottom. Simple.
Mexico over England. I can only see social media. Dear God, if England falls to Mexico. But I think you bring up a really good betting point, and that is, folks, think about how some of these teams play. A lot of South American teams I'm pretty bullish on. I mean, everyone, Brazil, top of the list. Obviously, everyone knows Brazil. But a lot of these South American teams like Colombia, like Ecuador, I'm pretty bullish on simply because of how the climate, as you said, shakes out for these, because there's teams, and we'll get into it as we get down the list and talk some of these groups, get further down the list, talk like Germany. Like a lot of these teams, their play styles are, let's get you into track meets. Let's get you into, a rush. And that may be fine for the group stages. But as we travel on, and you're talking 90-degree temperatures, you're talking humidity damn over 50%, play styles in climate is one of the things you need to handicap in this tournament, Yann. I'm glad you bring it up there at the top, because it is a reason why it's something to definitely dwell on as you're heading here into the tournament. So, folks, yes, betting the climate is something that also probably isn't going to be reflected in prices. So we'll talk about some of these other teams we're pretty bullish on. But Mexico out of the gate, that's a hot take. I know we're going to get a comment below. England, comment below and let Yann know what the hell are you talking about.
I'm English.
Brother.
I'm allowed to say it. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. A little home cooking. Well, we have a lot of Canadians that tune into the program, as our friend Carmine Bianco well knows, and Carmine and I are going to be doing some live Q&As throughout the World Cup as well. So hit that subscribe button and you'll never miss them. But let's talk Canada's group here. I've honestly, and we have the Team USA that we'll be talking here in a few once we talk Group D. But I'm almost thinking it's a little chalky. Throw Canada to qualify, throw Mexico to qualify, and throw the USA to qualify, because the three host nations are moving on, especially in this format. But as far as this group shakes out, we got Canada, we got Switzerland, we got Bosnia, and then we have the team who may be lucky to get a point, and that's Qatar. If we're talking about taking teams, because you can take teams to finish first, but you can also take teams to finish last in the group. And I think one of the values that people are going to overlook are maybe parlaying a couple of these teams like Curacao, like Qatar, like you're saying, South Africa, to finish last in their group. You might even get better prices than teams to be finishing first in their group. So as we ISO in here on Group B, however, it doesn't quite feel like it's, Canada's group to lose, simply because this Switzerland side is great. I would argue Switzerland's probably the class of Group B, but with multiple qualifiers, I would be shocked. I mean, Canada's going to have free 3 points against Qatar, and then at that point, it's just, hey, let's chill and move on to the next round, see what we got. How are you looking to bet Group B?
Yeah, I think the odds are basically perfect on this group. I think Switzerland are the class act. I think Canada should be coming second, but Bosnia are my value play here. I think the market's sleeping on them a little bit. They are physical, they're aggressive, they are awkward to play against. I don't think any teams will like that matchup. I think they've got a real chance of qualifying just by beating Qatar. And Qatar are probably better on technical ability than their odds suggest. But the physical demands of this group is just far beyond what they can play in, I believe. I think the odds have got this perfect. The 1, 2, 3, 4 in odds order for me here.
So do you think that one would even be worth, because another bet that you can make here, folks, is do a straight group forecast. I have a group forecast that's coming up here. Actually, in this next group, Group C is the one that I really like. I think I have this one pretty much bang on how I see that one finishing, and it's almost how our graphic shows here. But do you think that this Canada, so you would go Switzerland up top, Canada second, go Bosnia third, and then Qatar last? Is that your straight forecast?
Yeah. Well, I think the top 3 teams all beat Qatar. I think Qatar finished on 0 points.
That's
and
your
then it just comes
points.
down to yeah, and then it just comes down to goal difference. I mean, maybe Bosnia comes second just on goal difference, but
yeah,
I would go in odds order here.
Yeah, and here's the thing too: is you see that this final match here as well in Group B, you're going to see in Switzerland and Canada. That might be a play that I'm just looking, hey, draw, because both of these teams are pretty much going to be signed, sealed, delivered, and depending on who they could potentially play in the next round, you're going to see that, which is why the handicap changes. You know, in a vacuum, give me Switzerland, give me Switzerland straight up here against Canada for sure. But with them watching, oh, I want to avoid this team. Oh, I want to avoid that team. Some teams are just happy getting that second place. Winning the group don't mean anything if you can't hoist the trophy, and finding what you have as it goes forward. That's where the handicaps will change. And that's why we suggest folks, comment below if you want us to do some of these live shows where we can all kind of talk about it. And as Steve Merrill says, learn and earn and win together. Yann and I are all for it, but it's all dictated on if you guys would like to hear it. You guys, gals, folks, tuning in. So let us know if you enjoy it and you want us to break it down. All right, I alluded to it here. Group C is one that I think I have a great read on. And I know that people are talking about, oh, Brazil's form heading into the tournament. Oh, yeah. Spare me. Because the thing about the World Cup is, if you're looking at the friendlies heading in the World Cup to be a part of your handicap, you're wasting your time. Because these guys know I'm not going to put myself in a position where I'm going to get an injury. I'm not going to put myself in a position. And a lot of these lineups aren't even playing their best players because it doesn't matter. So for me, I'm going to take the value that you're getting here on Brazil simply because their form coming into the tournament isn't great. The cream rises to the top come World Cup, folks. So for me in Group C, my straight forecast, and you can get this around plus 170, which I think is a great price. Brazil, Morocco, Scotland, Haiti to finish last. I don't think Haiti picks up a point. Haiti is one of the teams here with this expansion of the tournament, folks. A lot of these teams would not be in the tournament if it weren't for the expansion. And Haiti, Curacao, those are teams that would not be playing in this competition if they didn't expand it. So those are teams that I think are just happy to be here. You know, I think Haiti, with the relationship that they have with Brazil, they're happy to just be having a game against Brazil in the World Cup. What an emotional match that will be for that nation. So I think, not to besmirch their team, they're just not up to snuff with these 3 other teams in the group. And Morocco, I think they're going to come in with confidence. You can't argue with me and tell me, oh, well, they're going to come in with momentum because 4 years ago is ancient in footballer terms, right, Yann? So while I like Morocco simply because how they set up in this group, I don't think I would be taking them to go very deep, but I do like them to finish second in this group. And spare me the Brazil form talk, man. Vinny and these guys will be ready to rock once the tournament begins. And this is a team that, this Group C, game by game, I'm looking to bet overs, especially in Brazil matches, because not only do they can fill up the bucket, fill up the goal, they also can concede because they know that they can outscore you. So I like a lot of overs with Brazil, not only team total overs, but over in this group. What do you think of my forecast? How are you looking to bet Group C?
That is an unreal breakdown of this group. I totally agree with the forecast. I think Brazil are the clear class of this group. I think they're genuine tournament contenders. I mean, they should at least be in the quarterfinals at least. Now, 2 juicier things, but I love them. Scotland to beat Haiti at minus 200. That feels like a total gift to me. I don't, like you're saying, Haiti are only here because of the expansion. They are
I don't
not
think they get a
World
point.
Cup quality. No, neither do I. I mean, I'd be amazed if they get more than 1 goal as well. I love Scotland to beat Haiti. That's a mismatch. Minus 200 is a bit of a gift for me. And Morocco to qualify, it's minus 800. But how are Morocco not getting 4 points here? that like there is just no way Morocco aren't getting 4 points here. I totally agree with you. Morocco is not someone I'm looking to actually go deep in this competition at all. But this group is perfect for them. They're too physical for Scotland. Haiti's a free points for them, in my opinion. The game against Brazil doesn't even matter, and they're going to qualify. Great breakdown on this group. This is a fun group. I'm expecting goals as well. I love the angles of the overs.
Yeah, this is an over group for me, and it's funny because we'll move on here to Group D. This feels like to me a potential under group where I'm looking to bet a lot of unders with these sides. We have the USA, we have Turkey, we have Paraguay, who I think is a little bit of a sleeper as well, and Australia. I think this is a bang up group that's going to have a hell of a lot of fun matches. Now, I say fun because I am an actual soccer fan. I am a football fan. Americans might not like watching this group because there will be a lot of 0-0s late. There will be a lot of 1-0 matches. There will be a lot of defensive play. Now, why I like the USA in this group isn't because, Yann, I'm going to come on here and wave my flag and let's go America. You know what I mean? I actually am not even sure if the USA is the best team in this group. I think Turkey or Paraguay could put a claim to that. However, I do think that USA has the most ways that they can beat you. I think tactically and situationally, they have the most flexibility on ways to attack you, which is why I think USA, they're not the class of this group. However, they certainly are like an amoeba-like structure that if they want to grind it out with you and just park the bus, they'll do that. If they want to counterattack, they can do that. They're very athletic. They're very deep. Pulisic is, when he's at the top of his game, certainly a top 10 player. You know, I'm not going to be, going crazy and tell you, but he also plays in high level. He's AC Milan, he's playing high-level strikers, and he holds his own there. So he's not just, an American beating people up in the MLS bullshit. You know what I mean? This is a class footballer who I think is the anchor of this team for a reason. So I like the difference of ways that USA can beat you. That's why I think they do have a chance to win this group. However, the fact that it's at plus 125, it kind of tells you that they are not the class of this group. It kind of tells you that this is not just a throw them in a parlay and they're going to win their group, because that price tells you everything you need to know. A plus 125 does not inspire me when you have some group favorites that are minus 700, minus 500. So I see you smirking, Yann. I have a feeling you think the same with me in this USA side that they might be losing this group. I think Turkey is who I would call the class of the group, but Paraguay is no slouch, man.
I've already upset all of our English viewers, so now I'm going to get to upset all of our American viewers. I have Turkey as the strongest side in this group. They look so balanced to me. Defensive structure, attacking threat, the physical profile to handle different styles. The USA have an elite defensive base for me, and I think that will take them a long way. But my main concern is just having that dominance and cutting edge to score enough goals in this group against really good defensive sides. Home advantage will help them, though. I just see them coming up against the top nations later on in the tournament. And on my notes, Paraguay, a bit of a sleeper team. We're on the same page there. Yep. They have enough quality to pick up results. Australia just look a bit outmatched here, but my best bet here is Turkey to win the group at plus 225.
Yeah, and Australia's goal, Australia's main option of how they're going to beat you, they're a pretty solid defensive side. So they're going to look to make you fall asleep and then fire that counterattack on. And they are athletic. They're just not deep. All of these other three teams are extremely deep. And with Turkey, here's where the silver lining comes for you USA fans and you would be USA bettors. Is Turkey is when they are on, when it is their day, they're a class side. When one thing goes wrong for a man, it snowballs quickly. So that is where if you can get to Turkey early, they're going to break down. You know what I mean? But if it is their day, I would put them toe to toe. I'm not going to say with, the Spains, I'm not going to say with the Brazils, but damn near the top of this tournament on Turkey's day, they can hang with anybody. But if it ain't their day, they'll pack their lunch and go home rather quickly. So quarter of the way here, folks, already 20 minutes in. I was talking to Yann. I was like, I think we'll go 20 minutes. Hell no. Hell no. You can go 20 minutes on one of these groups. Comment below, 4 groups in. What are your thoughts? And we'll move here to, I think, a really intriguing group here in Group E. What we have Germany. They have Ecuador, who's a team I'm very bullish on. We have the Ivory Coast, the Côte d'Ivoire, if you will. And then we have Curacao. We have the team who is, congrats on being here. We're excited to have you, Curacao. But another team who, if you're looking for a bottom of the group parlay, they would be one of my first entrants in here. Not only because it's kind of a new spot for them to be in. But also just the fact that this team and this group, these are 3 teams that coming out of this group match as we head to the round of 32 and the round of 16, nobody wants to see Ecuador or Ivory Coast. And certainly everybody knows the juggernaut that is Germany. I'll let you give your thoughts since I've taken the lead on the last 2. How do you see this one shaking out? Because I'm pretty fond of 3 of these teams in this match to make some noise in this tournament.
I'm also fond of the same 3 teams. While Germany are the best side in this group, Ecuador are my biggest dark horse in this tournament alongside Mexico. They have pace, they have power, they have attacking threat, they're solid at the back. They are a horrible out for any team in this competition. I think they've got quarterfinal upside if things click. And Germany should be reaching the round of 16. I just don't see them as dominant as previous iterations of German teams, but they're too good to not get out of this group at least. And then Ivory Coast, another dangerous outsider. I think there's value to be had here as well. They're physical, they play high tempo ball, they can break quicker than lightning. They are very, very interesting in the knockouts. And like you say, Curacao, they just look well out of their depth here. I've got another nil point for Curacao.
Yeah, I don't think they're completely overmatched. And I'm glad that you mentioned that about Germany, because I think heading into the tournament, Germany is always a team that people think of this juggernaut, this stalwart, but this Germany team this year, this iteration of them, it ain't your grandpa's Germany. It ain't your dad's Germany. It ain't even your uncle's Germany from 4 years ago. This is an extremely young side that tactically is different than any Germany team that we have seen in 20, 30 years. This is all about pace, pace, pace. And that is why early on in the tournament, I'm bullish on Germany. I think they can outpace pretty much anyone. However, Ecuador, this team just doesn't give up goals, man. This team, and their Ecuador's midfield is so damn physical that after you play a match against the Ecuadorian side, you are running to the ice bath because they will lean on you. Like when you play Ecuador, you know you just played Ecuador. And that's why I'm so bullish on them, because they're used to the climate. They're extremely athletic. And I want a team early on in the World Cup who is a bang-on defensive side. And this is a team that is a bang-on defensive side with counterattack speed, with a midfield that beats the living piss out of you. I'm right there with you. I'm honestly thinking, I'm not going to say Ecuador wins this whole thing, because when the cream ends up rising to the top, but no one out of this, we talked about teams that are looking at, I don't want to play that team. I don't want to play that team. Teams will go to second place or even drop into third place to avoid playing Ecuador. I truly believe that about this team. This is not a team you want to see on your schedule.
I just can't believe they're like plus 400. There's a plus 500 out there on them to win this group. They can easily go get a draw against Germany and then beat the other 2.
1,000%. They have 3 points automatically. They're going to beat Curacao. I would be I'll put down the gauntlet. We'll never do another show if Ecuador doesn't beat Curacao. So how about that, Yann? Of course, we know in soccer and football anything could happen. But the way that I would attack this, yeah, exactly. Comment below. All right, Dan, no more shows. Some people will be very happy about that, Yann. But this Ecuador side, here's how I would attack it: is shop around, find them to win the group. And like you said, there's 500s out there, which I think is an insane price. Probably the median price you're going to find is around like 350. is what you're going to find. But you could also take them second in the group, and that's anywhere from plus 130 to 150. So here's how I would do it. I would break up. I would give 3/4 of a unit and put that on Ecuador's second place, and then take 1/4 of the unit, find that plus 500, and take Ecuador to win the group, because they're either one or they're either two. But also, don't sleep on Cote d'Ivoire. Don't sleep on Ivory Coast. They're also an extremely athletic team who, we spent all this time talking about Ecuador because we're so bullish on them. We spent time warning you about Germany as we carry on in this tournament. I wouldn't want to be holding any futures tickets on Germany. Cote d'Ivoire could also push this group, and they could be that fly in the ointment for our Ecuador love. But Ecuador advances. I mean, they're minus 900 to advance. So,
yes.
So that's the thought process there. All right, let's talk Group F here. And I don't have much on this group. Netherlands, Sweden, Japan, Tunisia. This is one where Tunisia, they can probably steal a draw here or there. I would say they're probably still bottom of the group. They're not a team I would put in a parlay. I think they have enough to make it. I don't have much for this group. Didn't find much for the odds here. It's Sweden, it's Netherlands. If you needed to find a bet here in Group F, maybe that's the way I would do it, is just take Netherlands, Sweden, double chance. I like them to finish top the group, but Japan's pretty class as well.
This is an interesting group because all four of these teams, if they were in different groups, probably advance. But because they're together, one of them has to go. For me, it's Japan. I think Japan are the value team here. They are very organized, very disciplined. They are very hard to break down. They don't shoot themselves in the foot. They play solid, rigid football. They don't play with a pace or flair. It's just fundamental soccer. And that will take them a long way. I see them getting out of this group. I think Sweden are slightly overrated. I'm not sure they quite match their reputation coming into this. Netherlands are the class act here. They just have a tactical edge. They're deserved favourites. They're structured. They're very efficient. They should top this group. But like you say, I can't say Tunisia are the whipping boys off this group.
No.
They
could steal a match. They could win it outright. Yeah.
I think they could. They're very hard to break down. I worry about their goal scoring. I just can't quite get there on them, but it would not surprise me if they came second in this group.
Yeah, and like I said, the way that I end up attacking the World Cup, especially one this massive, I've ISO'd on a couple of specific groups. Those are why we went longer on some of them. Feels like Jan's the same way as me. Nothing that I want to bet too much pre-flop in Group F. I kind of feel the same way about Group G. I'm not sure what your thoughts are here as we look at Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. I think, again, a really well-matched group. And sure, the class of the group is obviously Belgium, and I think pretty notably so. So you want to throw them in a parlay to win the group. I think that's fine. That's probably the only way that I would attack this group. I mean, Iran's the dark horse for sure. What say you? Group G, I just didn't have much to throw in here.
This is just an unders group for me. I think all four of these are defensively solid. Belgium, like you say, class act here. Price on them's probably a little short. Iran's a team that I would normally say is going to be very competitive, but off-field issues there that we obviously won't get into might make this a bit difficult for them.
Yep.
That pushes me towards Egypt as the value angle. They are probably the most organized team of these four outside of Belgium. They are very capable of grinding out results. I think they're a tricky matchup outside of the group stage as well. New Zealand are the outsiders here. I think they might have a bit of value about them. I think they can nick a result or two here, but I would probably lean they come bottom, Belgium come top, Egypt, Iran flip-flop for second or third for me.
Yep. I'm right there with you for me. I think an easy group, I guess you could say, to forecast. However, I'm with you. Let's look to bet some unders once we get game by game in Group G. So we'll move here 29 minutes in. We appreciate you guys tuning in while you're hanging out with us. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed. Be one of the 250,000 subscribers here to WagerTalk TV. 250,000 people, Yann. They can't be wrong. So hit that like button, hit subscribe here. All right, España Everybody loves Spain heading here into the tournament. That's the bet. Take them to win it all, right? I actually don't hate that. I think Spain's a pretty damn good team heading here into the tournament. However, some of their toughest matchups in the tournament might come right here in this group. And no, it won't be against Saudi Arabia. No, it won't be against Cape Verde. Uruguay, I think, is a little bit of a sleeper team for me. I like this Uruguay team heading there into this tournament. I don't know if I'm not like looking to them to win the tournament. However, I think they could spring some upsets if it is their day. I liken them to kind of what we were talking about with Turkey. If things are rolling for Uruguay, that's a team with the confidence, the backing, and the ability to play in this climate that I think some folks are sleeping on Uruguay to go pretty deep in this tournament. What do you think?
I think you've looked at my notes because we have the exact same.
I love this. The fact that I thought we were going to have like some disagreement, but I love the fact that we're simpatico. It's two sides of one brain. We almost make up a whole brain as long as we're talking.
I just think Uruguay are so strong. If they were in any other group, I think they'd be favourites to win it. But the fact that Spain are here, and Spain are, for me, they are power ranked 1. They are the best team in this competition.
Agreed.
The way they control the game through their possession-based play, they press relentlessly. You know when you've played Spain. They are an absolute juggernaut. I think they win this. We shall see. But they clearly don't have any problem getting out of this group with Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde. But Uruguay, I think they also get through this without any fuss at all. And I would be terrified of playing them in a knockouts.
Yeah, I would honestly say, especially since you're getting, I think, around even money if you shop around. Spain to reach the quarters is a great bet if you can find that plus money on it. Uruguay to reach the quarters. I think depending on how it breaks and who they match up with, yes, it's going to be tough coming out of this group and what you're going to see, just the way that the bracket shakes out. But like Yann said, like a lot of folks are talking about like Portugal as like the just outside the favorites team who you should be betting on. For me, it's Uruguay. Do I think they can win this tournament? I do. I think they do. It's so big. It's so vast. You need to come 8 days, 8 games, 8 matches. You have to come proper. Do they have 8 matches in them in that proper form? That's the concern for me for Uruguay. But if they are on, I wouldn't want them being the team that I'm facing. I can tell you that much. All right, Group I. Let's go Group I here for you folks. Again, if you're enjoying the show, let us know which groups you're looking to bet, which teams you're looking to bet. This is the one, right? We just talked about Spain. Now we're on to France. Allez la bleu. And as I mentioned, odds on favorites, they haven't really performed well because you're getting everyone's best game. Even when you're getting everyone's best game, dude, this France team can just roll you. I mean, the talent that they have, the coaching. I'm with you. They actually, it's basically a 1 and 1A situation for me in my power rankings. I have France and I have Spain. However, here's my worry is we're going to talk Golden Boot here at the end. Obviously, we'll talk this group. It's France, it's Norway, it's Senegal, and it's Iraq. We'll talk this here in just a few. I don't think we'll have to talk long on the group play. But one thing I will say when we talk Golden Boots, everybody loves betting Kylian Mbappe. Everybody loves betting, Harry Kane. They love betting these top players who are the best in the world, right? You have to handicap Golden Boot in mind with the fact that in the third game, probably none of the starters even play for France. In the second game, do they get up early and Mbappe comes and gets subbed off early? You're not only handicapping which player is going to, because essentially we'll do it when we do the Golden Boot, but I'm just warning you folks, these top teams like France, like Spain, if you're looking for Golden Boot players on them, it makes sense because they're going to have the most matches played. However, in this group stage, that's why I would argue don't bet the Golden Boot until the group stage is done because you'll have a better picture. Yes, the odds are going to get worse, but you'll have a much better picture of who's going to be a potential sleeper or a potential bet for Golden Boot. So France, Norway, Senegal, I completely diverted and talked Golden Boot because what do you say about this group? It's France's group to lose, and they're not going to lose it.
Yes, agreed. France are the clear powerhouse in this group. They are my second-ranked team overall behind Spain. They just look so built for tournament football. I think once they're in the knockout stages, that's when they hit their best form, and they're going to be very, very hard to beat. Iraq will be competitive defensively. I don't see where the goals come from them, but they might pick up a draw here. But like Iran, you have to be questioning the camp mentality for this one. Norway are near certainty to qualify, in my view, given the attacking talent and firepower that they possess. But Senegal are the wild card here for me. I think
Fair.
they go through. I think they're a very difficult knockout opponent as well. They're going to be hard to break down and cause a shock or two, and they're minus 200 to qualify, and I think that's a really solid bet here.
Yeah, and one of the only groups that has 3 teams heading in the FIFA ranking in the top 20, in the top 15 even, that you're seeing with some of these sides here. So yeah, I'm right there with you. A competitive group, sure. It's basically France and Norway beating up on everyone. Senegal probably does just enough to end up moving on as well and getting one of those third qualifier spots. Group J here, Argentina, Messi and the boys, and then we got Austria, we got Algeria, and we have Jordan, which Jordan will not be getting a point. Jordan is one of my entrants into. Finally, we got some disagreement. Let me tell me you like Jordan here. What
we might have some disagreement here.
Finally, we've been kumbaya too much. What do we think about Jordan?
Far too much. We just like each other too much, man.
Exactly.
I have Jordan to qualify plus 300 is my best bet of this group.
Really?
I think they have enough about them to, if this game comes down to Jordan versus Algeria, and the winner of that advances, and I'm getting plus 300 on Jordan, I am taking plus 300 on Jordan. I do not think Algeria are all that. I'm a bit skeptical about them, particularly in attack. I don't think they have a major cutting edge. I think Jordan can frustrate them, and I think they can potentially take a point off Austria as well. I could see that being a 0-0 draw. I really can. But yeah, I've got to talk about Argentina, haven't I? They are the third ranked team.
Yeah, I was about to say, if we talk Group J and we spend all of our time talking Jordan, the comments will be epic. So yeah, what do you think about this Argentina team? Because they're Argentina. You know what I mean? You want to bet on them, sure. They're not a team who I'm looking for on any futures personally. What do you think?
They are the third ranked team in my power rankings. They should navigate this group without any issues whatsoever. They're all class too good for this group. I would worry about them playing an Ecuador, a Colombia, a Mexico. I have them power ranked higher, but I just think they can be a bit flimsy. Defensively, I think they have a bit of concentration issues. I think they're a team that thinks they're better than what they are. I think they think they're the best team in the world. And that would be a major off-putting thing for me.
Yeah, I think that's my hesitation as well on Argentina. Because if you even think about, again, it was 4 years ago, but let's be real, the core of this team ain't getting any younger. 4 years ago means 4 years of age on some of the best footballers in the world, right? So for me, when I watched how they got it done, and even in qualifiers, how they got it done, Argentina is completely fine with just doing enough, right? They are completely fine with, let's just get the win. Let's just force the draw. Let's forecast forward, which there's merit to that. There's something to be done to that. Just, they don't ask how many, they ask, they don't ask how, they ask how many, so to speak, is did you win? Did you not win? So Argentina is completely content with just doing just enough. However, if you're doing just enough and you have a team who is doing everything, sometimes just enough ain't enough. And that's what ended up happening against them in France, too. If you just look at Argentina being able to sit back on their hands because of how talented they are. And I'm not saying that they're not oppressing. I'm not saying that they're not counterattacking. I'm not saying that they're not showing a beautiful brand of football. It's one of the best. I mean, they have some of the best kits that you've ever seen, and it plays itself out on some of the beautiful football that they play in stretches. But sometimes when you're playing a team who is giving it all, doing just enough isn't enough. And that's what we've seen in the World Cup. So that is what concerns me. Is Argentina a top 3 team in the world? Certainly. And they're a top 3 team in the world playing the brand of football that is just enough. But for me, the World Cup, I want the teams who are doing it all, not just enough. And that's what concerns me about Argentina. So comment below and let me know why I'm wrong about that and what an idiot I am on fading a Messi team. They're getting out of the group. You could probably bet them to make it to the semis as well, or make it to the quarterfinals at least as well. That's a fine bet. But for me, it's not a team who I'm too jazzed up on betting, which is also what I want to get your thought here. Let's talk Group K. One of the favorite teams that is not a favorite that everyone wants to bet is Portugal. And in this group, makes a heck of a lot of sense to me. Portugal, Colombia, Congo, and then you got Uzbekistan. Colombia is a team who I don't want to see. And I think some of Portugal's toughest matches in this tournament will come when they face off against Colombia, be it in the group stage, be it if they see each other a little bit further down the road. Here's the thing for me with Portugal, and it's the same thing about Argentina. This is a team that is aging rapidly. This is a team who is fine doing just enough. And this is also a team who, if you gave me a crystal ball, Yann, and you told me Cristiano Ronaldo agreed to come off of the bench for this team, I would be made more bullish on him than knowing that he's going to be starting on the field. Because every single round, every single minute, I know he's not old in terms, but in football terms, the age of 40 is absolutely ancient. He's still one of the best in the world. You could argue he is the best in the world. Now we're going to get some good comments going. Maybe you could argue that Ronaldo is the best in the world. But for me, in a tournament like this, and yes, they do play at climate, he's a guy who will be acclimated to that. That's not what worries me. It's just how much tread is left on the tires. And I think Ronaldo is the microcosm of that, which is the concern for me for this Portugal team is they are class. They are bang up. But how much is left on those tires? And every single match, you have to come proper 8 times to win this tournament. And do they have enough tread on the tires to come proper 8 times? I'm not so sure. So Portugal is not one of my favorite outside favorites. Colombia, that's a team I like quite a bit here, Yann. What do you think about Group K? What do you think about these two sides? I think it's them. You can forecast them top 2 in the group. I wouldn't be shocked if Colombia won this group.
So for me, Portugal are a top 5 team in this competition.
Yeah.
My issue is once it doesn't become Portugal football team and it becomes a Cristiano Ronaldo show, that's when they are not the 5th best team in this competition. And I really struggle with them. As a team on paper, they look very complete across every single position. I'd be surprised if they don't get to the quarterfinals, at least. But then, like you with Colombia, they are one of my biggest dark horses. They are there with Mexico. They are there with Ecuador. With their blend of flair, athleticism, climate's not going to be an issue. They're structured. Yeah, Colombia terrify me. I think they could go very, very well. The one I really want to talk about is Uzbekistan here. I think they're getting massively overlooked. Them to qualify is plus 175. I think they're a lot better than DR Congo. And now if it comes down to those two head-to-head for a qualification spot, give me the physicality of Uzbekistan. We'll see the value in the group is them. But this is one of my favourite groups. I love this group. I cannot wait to watch these guys battle each other. Portugal, Colombia, like you say, is one of the best matches of the tournament. I cannot wait for this one.
Yeah, if you can find anything north of plus 240, plus 250, give me Colombia to win the group. I truly think, I mean, that's the match that you're watching. And as you mentioned with Uzbekistan too, that is a team that you mentioned the Cristiano Ronaldo show. They can frustrate you into making mistakes. Like they're not going to be having some beautiful set piece that blows you away and they're on Sports Center top 10. Hell no. They play one of the ugliest brands of football you will find, and it can frustrate you. And then you make the mistake, or these defensemen, this big physicality, strong midfield as well, they will get you into a little pushing and shoving match, little theatrics, maybe a little flop. Maybe they're near the box. Maybe they get a PK, and that's how Uzbekistan gets their wins. They are a gnat that is the size of a gorilla. They will pester you. So I like that of especially teams that can get a little hot-headed. Uzbekistan is a team that can piss you off. Are they going to win this tournament? Hell no. Are they going to get out of this group? Probably not.
They might do. They might do.
But you'll remember the fact you played Uzbekistan, because you're going to be saying those fucking assholes, man. It really is a team that can frustrate you. So I think a great point by you. All right, just shy of 45 minutes. We're on our final group here, and then we'll talk a little to win the cup. We'll talk a little golden boot. England, class of this group, but Croatia's a little bit of a sleeper team too. Ghana's not too awful, and then you got Panama as well here. So an interesting group. England, I worry as we head on in the tournament. how do they fare in this climate. But as far as group stages, group of 32, even the group of 16, I know you have Mexico upsetting them, but England is a team who, if it's their day, as long as they don't get gassed out, I could see why there's a lot of love in this tournament coming in here for England. But one thing that England knows how to do is how to screw it up sometimes. And you know, that's always the worry for me with this England side is they can be their own worst enemy. And it is, does England beat themselves, or do they, you know, have the class that they have shown they have been able to do? But sometimes England is its own worst enemy, and that's what worries me as we move forward. How much do they have left in the tank worries me as we move forward. But as far as this group, I think you'll have some fun matches in here, but it's England to win the group for me.
It's England to win the group for me. I think it's going to be 3 narrow wins. It's what they do best. It's going to be a solid defensive base for them. But as I've already alluded to, I worry for them. Like, they look strong on paper, but when they meet elite physical opponents in a bit of a climate like Mexico, that's when I think things fall apart a bit for them. Croatia, experience, steady. I don't think they're major threats in the knockouts, but they'll be fine. They probably get to the round of 16. Ghana are my pick for second place here. They play with a pace and athleticism. They're elite. They're very dangerous in transition, and I think that will test Croatia a bit. I give them every chance of actually beating Croatia in a best of one. Panama probably look a bit outmatched here. I think they might struggle to pick up a point. But
I think that's a throw Panama in the bottom of Panama in the bottom of the group parlay.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty safe bet. Also a bet, I know we've talked mainly about group play. I think what might end up being a client play for us, Yann, I got to kick it around with you. Any thoughts on a little early look here? Croatia and England might just be a draw, right? Croatia playing England, that might be a draw game. Because as you said, England does it ugly. England does it low. They do, that counterattack, they do just enough. But that England and Croatia, the fact that it kicks it off, two teams that maybe are a little bit timid to start the tournament, especially against each other, that could be a play for me that I think I may lock in before the odds change. Give me the draw. Yeah, that's what Americans really want. They want to bet on draws, Yann. Let's bet on draws.
Yeah, we're here for freeway markets and pick the one in the middle. Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about. So, so we'll let you know if you want the client plays, wt.buzz/AL. We're going to put together a World Cup special that you can get. It may be live as you're watching this video. So WagerTalk.com, Andy Lang's page. We are part of the Winning in the Shadows team, and we're coming out of the shadows to break down some games for you here. So that's the thoughts here on the group stages. On the way out here, let's talk a little Win the Cup. Let's talk a little Golden Boot. Like I said at the top, in case you're just tuning in or you fast forwarded here to the end to get some best bets, if you're looking at favorites in the modern era have only won this 3 times. So France, and I'm not betting at a 5-1, a 4-1. Forget that. I want something further down the group. Give me Colombia is my, if we do the one and done on the golf show. Give me my one and done being Colombia, anywhere from 40-1. You can find it a little bit better than that, but plus 4,000. That's a team who could hang around, who could make it a tough go for you anytime you play them. Colombia, that's my one and done. What do you think, Yann?
I think I've got to stick true to everything we've said. Give me Mexico at 80-1 as a dark horse outright.
Wow, Mexico to win the damn thing.
Athleticism, I think they tick an awful lot of boxes, man.
Man,
give me 80-1. Let's go.
Wow, I mean, dude, with that, if they beat England in the quarters, that ticket could be live. So we give you a 40-1, we give you 80-1. Comment below. You know what? I'll tell you, the Mexican fans probably are the people who most disagree with you. They got booed. They got olayed out of their own stadium, man. It's tough. But Mexico, a host nation, live to win it all, says my man Yann, and I'm going with Colombia at a 40-1 shot. Yes, England's up there. Yes, France is up there. Argentina. Out of the favorites, the ones at the top, the one who I truly would, I know I joked, cross France off the list. I would cross Germany off the list. I think Germany is going to be a big-time upset play. Once they get through to the group of 16, that's when I'm going to look to start betting underdogs on the money line straight up against them. I think it's just not going to be enough for this young team. They're going to be a team in years to come. They will be back to being that German stalwart, but they're priced that they're still that team, and I just don't believe that they are. So Germany is a fade team for me as we move forward. All right, Yann, last one. I don't bet the Golden Boot. Like I said, my suggestion to bet the Golden Boot would be wait until after group play. Yes, these prices are going to get less juicy, but you got Kylian Mbappe as your favorite. He may play 1.5 games in the group stage. And so, you're getting a guy who maybe, sure, he could score a hat trick in that 1.5 games. Let's be real. Sure. But for me, it's just not something that I really want to bet. If you forced me to make a Golden Boot bet, give me Vinny. I like Vinicius Jr. 25-1 is what you're looking at in that one. It's a team who I think in the group stage will be putting up goals in bunches. So for me, Vinny Jr., it's not something that I bet personally. What do you think with Golden Boot? Because when you're looking to bet the Golden Boot, the past winners, you're looking at, you got to score like 7.25 goals or a little bit above that. So it's a math equation. Who can get to that? Who plays enough matches? A lot of Americans are gonna want to bet Pulisic. You can just Venmo me your money instead. But what do you say, Yann? How are you looking to bet the Golden Boot?
Like you say, it's a very managing minutes sort of things. Like the teams that are going to end up in the finals and the semi-finals, they're managing their best players early, which means less minutes, less opportunities for these guys. So I'm going to give you 3 Golden Boots, guys. The one I like the most is Mikel Oyarzabal for Spain. About 15-1, 16-1, something like that.
Yep.
I think he's going to play a lot of minutes. I think Spain probably end up in the semis or the final. He just makes sense. He's going to get an awful lot of opportunities. Another one I really like is Enner Valencia for Ecuador at 80-1.
Love it.
He's an old man. He is an old man now, but he's still got it. He takes penalties for them. That's a big thing. If I think Ecuador are going to get to the round of 16 or the quarterfinal, Enner Valencia is probably going to have to play every single minute. So he's another one who's going to get opportunities. And I have to do it because I am a Charlton fan. We have one representative in the Scotland national team. Give me Lyndon Dykes at 375-1.
Ooh!
The beauty of this is they play Haiti. If Lyndon Dykes is playing 90 minutes against Haiti, don't rule out a hat trick. That's all I'll say. They play
3
one
goals
up front.
right there.
He'll be the one up front. If they advance into the group, they might have another 1 or 2 extra games. Do not be surprised if Lyndon Dykes gets to 5-6 goals and has a share of a top goal scorer at 375-1. Up the Charlton.
I can barely count all those zeros that are in that bet. That is a hell of a Golden Boot bet. Comment below and let us know, who do you like? Obviously, Harry Kane, he's a guy who you can always talk about, but it's 7-1, folks. Like for Golden Boot winner, that's why we're going further down the list. That's why we're taking shots, a little bit more return on your investment because you're wrapping up your money for about a month. So, I need some zeros like what Yann is dropping
small
there.
Small sprinkles.
Yeah, little sprinkles. We're talking half units, quarter units, folks.
Not even
but
that, mate. Like...
yeah, some fun pizza money. And depending on how expensive pizzas are, maybe even less than that. Maybe go shake your couch upside down, whatever coins fall out. That's what you can put on some of these Golden Boot winners. Yann, pleasure finally doing a show with you, man. Let's cash some tickets. Folks, comment below. Let us know some of your bets. And also comment below, what matches would you like us to cover? Do you want Yann and I to be back each and every week here throughout the tournament? You want us to do 2 different shows? You have to comment below. And also, you have to head over WT.buzz/AL. That is where every single client play will be loaded. We have 4 different futures that are loaded right this very second. So go and grab them, WT.buzz/AL. Until next time, best of luck. Enjoy the World Cup. I hope your nation does great as long as they're not betting, or as long as they're not playing against the team I just bet on. But everyone enjoyed. It's going to be a hell of a tournament, the biggest one yet, and we're going to be with you all along the way. Best of luck betting the World Cup. We'll see you next time.